So, let's just talk a little bit about illegal immigration. As I understand it, there are about 500,000 illegal immigrants living in Spain, or at least they're the ones that the Spanish government knows about. Probably rather more in practical terms, I would guess. My impression over the years is that Spain has got a lot tougher on illegal immigration. I mean, when I started working here 30 years ago, Americans and Chileans would come here and they'd stay here for years without any paperwork and no one got very excited. But now, perhaps partly because of the Schengen Agreement and because of the integration of the European Union, Spain is taking a much harder line. And if you get caught as an illegal immigrant, it can be quite difficult.
Yes, you're right. The part of it is because the Schengen Convention, at the end of the day, if Spain is flexible about accepting illegal immigrants, they're not illegal immigrants at the Spanish territory only, but illegal immigrants within the whole European Union or Schengen countries. That's one of the reasons as well. The illegal immigrants are really somehow creating other difficulties to find a job for legal Spanish or international people that live in Spain, that they are seeking to find a job. So this is really affecting. This has become, from a social point of view, a big issue in Spain. I believe as well that some other countries in the European Union territory are considering this like a problematic issue at the moment. And yes, Spain is really quite strict about this.
And again, I think it's probably worth stressing for our viewers that illegal immigrants are not just people who come across in a rubber boat through Africa in the middle of the night. If you are a Canadian and you've come here for 3 months as a tourist and you stay without the right paperwork, you also are an illegal immigrant.
Correct. And this is something that the Spanish authorities are very concerned, and they are becoming more and more strict, because they have to be careful when granting a visa, when granting any type of permission to live in Spain, about that legal visit to Spain is not going to end up in a situation of illegal immigrant.
Yes.
And this is really why the authorities are looking at this more conservatively.
Yes. And I think I looked this up the other day, that the number of people in Spain who were arrested for being illegal immigrants went up 70% in 2014, which is the last year for which we have any numbers. So it is something clearly you need to be aware of. And if you're talking to people who came to Spain 20 years ago and they said, oh, don't bother about this, you don't need any paperwork if you've come from Canada or Australia, don't listen to them, get the paperwork right. Because if you don't get the paperwork right, it could come back to bite you.
Correct. And then you have to have all the papers right, and you have to have all the permissions correct. If you don't do it, this is going to be 100% committing your process of permissions in the future.
Yes.
So yes, because you are missing the date to renew the things, yes, because you didn't really think it was that important, you can see yourself in the future in a situation in which you are going to be having a very simple visa and then you're going to be denied.
Yes.
So it's really quite important to make sure that all the papers are in place and you're punctual with the obligation.